Welcome to DJ E360 World, Ariella,
Thank you for having
the
me.
DMV Slayer.
Yes, that's me.
How's your day going?
It's going great, great. Just happy to be alive. Happy to have my eyes open this morning. Thanking God every day. Yeah.
It's kind of raining though. It's raining there.
Yeah, it's still beautiful though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
as long
so
as I get to see it.
yeah, it's the time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start from the beginning. Is this your first time here?
Yes.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Maryland. That's where I started at from a young age, basically up until I was like 16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there, which Riverdale specifically, if you want to say cities, like Riverdale, Bowie, like back and forth a lot of places around Bright Seat Road, Landover, like really back and forth. So when I turned 17, I moved to Southeast DC, and then I was in Southeast area from 17 up until like 27.
Okay.
I ended up moving back to Maryland. So
Okay, so what can you walk me through, that early phase of your life? I'm talking about like from 0 to probably 7 or 10.
mm-hmm.
How was that environment for you? Like, did you grow up in the suburb or in a very drug infested area? Like, how was that
Not too.
phase?
It wasn't. I mean, times were hard, but my mom always worked. She always maintained a steady job. Like, we were never really on government assistance
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. I never really saw my mom go through that. She always made sure food was on the table and clothes was on our back. It wasn't the best clothes,
Yeah.
mind you. It wasn't the best food all the time, but she would do her thing to make it happen. So I learned a lot from her when it comes to that. And she was a little selfish sometimes, and I learned in the long run that you have to be selfish sometimes in order to get shit done, basically. So yeah, it wasn't really too rough. She was super duper strict. Like, if I did one thing wrong, like my TV was gone for the summer, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. I couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't wear certain shit. I couldn't do certain shit. You know what I'm saying? It was really strict and, really sheltered. I had to be in the house before the lights came on, went off, came on or whatever. So, it was just a little militant household.
Okay, as far you mentioned your mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about your father?
My father actually didn't come into my life until I was like, I was with him when I was like around 7.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was kind of, a falling out between both of my parents or whatever. So I kind of didn't see him again until I was like 13.
Okay.
And then he passed away probably like a year or two after we started, trying to gain our connection again. He passed away from cancer or whatever, so God rest his soul to that. So I really didn't have a deep relationship with my father.
But as far as that experience, though, how did that make you feel, back in the days where, because I have my daughter myself,
Mm-hmm.
so I kind of understand the relationship between a daughter and a father.
Mm-hmm.
It's very deep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Girls tend to connect more to their father and then we tend to connect to our mother.
Yeah.
So how was that influence for you?
I connect when I was around him. I really connected to him. You know what I'm saying? I really did love my dad or whatever. I know I look like him for sure, but like I said, it was just the arguing between them two that kind of kept us away from each other. But my mom always kept a guy around, so it wasn't like I never had a strong male figure around, but it wasn't always just one guy. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple guys, but it was one that was really in particular, and that's the one we were talking about earlier, who was an African guy, whatever. She was married to him for 8 years, so I still consider him my dad. You know what I'm saying? Because he taught me a lot. You know what I'm saying? So there was always a male role model around, even though my father wasn't fully around. So
but did you feel like having your own father there all the time? What did that bother you at all?
Okay. That never really crossed my mind because my mom was so independent. You know what I'm saying? And I looked at that like we don't really need anybody to, push us forward or give us motivation. Like we're self-motivated in my family. So I never really longed for that.
Okay. As far as the musical influence though, like did anybody in your family or your uncle or anybody like was in a band, like play any instrument or?
My aunt, she sings for a choir or whatever. She's always had like a lead role in the choir position. I grew up in a choir. in church or whatever. So that's where my music came from, like as far as the singing is concerned. And the rapping just came from me looking at music videos.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's where that came from. But other than that, yeah, it was a musical influence in my family.
Okay, so as far as through your schooling, right? Did you take any musical class or?
Yeah, middle school.
Okay, did you play any instrument like violin?
No, I didn't play any instruments. It was more so singing. And in high school, I was in music class too. So.
Oh, how about high school?
I was in the high school choir in the 9th grade, but then it kind of went left, and I got out of it because I was still in the church choir too. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when did you decide to pick up the mic?
2 years ago, in 2017.
And what motivated that?
What motivated that was I had, good jobs, had always been handed to me, but for some reason I would lose them. And I wasn't knowing why, and I had to figure out, what it really was that I loved, because I went to school for nursing, I went to school for cosmetology, you know what I'm saying? So I have a couple of different traits under my belt or whatever, but they all died, and I never had that passion to keep going. So I just tried to figure out what it was that I could do. I was actually at like a rock bottom point in my life. I didn't know what to do, actually. For one, to give myself a platform, and for two, to be able to inspire others as well. So I really brainstormed on what I wanted to do, and I said being a rapper, because from that, other things manifest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at least something to be able to put myself on the forefront, to be like, hey, this is ARIELLAEFFORTLESS, this is what she does, you know what I'm saying? She does it well. So from that point, other doors were open. That's not the only thing that I want to do, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's the main thing that I'm focused on right now, until those other doors open.
Okay, as far as you talking about hitting rock bottom, would you like to share what
yeah, I was basically in a situation where a significant other of mine was taken away from me because of the system, of course, which is totally fucked up for the black man. And he was arrested for he was gone for 2 years. So I tried to maintain our place. Our rent was really expensive or whatever, so I really couldn't do it on my own. And actually, one of his family members had ended up doing some deceitful stuff to me, and I ended up losing my place. Yeah, I ended up losing everything. And I don't know, my immediate family, I couldn't really call them and try to go to them, because it's like when we're down, we got to figure out what to do on our own in our family. You know what I'm saying? We can't really lean on each other like that. So I was out in the streets. I would go get a rental car and be driving around and not have the money to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Running with rental cars and shit like that. Like, I was really wilding out here. Like, I was taking, little wash-ups and Starbucks and stuff like that, not knowing where I wanted to go. One night somebody could say I could stay here, and then they would renege on that. You know what I'm saying? So staying in hotels and stuff. But then I found somebody who really helped me out with my housing situation, and I'm stable now. You know what I'm saying? I'm really in a good situation right now to be able to fully push myself and do this full time. So I thank God for that. But it took me probably a year of not, knowing where I was going to be, but still I was in the studio somehow, you know what I'm saying? I was still doing shows some type of way. God was making a way for that. So I feel, and then like I said, every year I see advancement in what I'm doing. So I feel like it's, it's a good move for me to be doing what I'm doing, because it's been lucrative.